What is going on? Welcome to the episode. Today we are talking about eating out and fat loss. Going to restos is a super fun and enjoyable part of life, and while I encourage my clients to cook the vast majority of their meals at home, I also recommend that they eat out from time to time because I am all about taking a sustainable approach, and being a hermit is not sustainable. So in this episode, we are going to be covering the 5 most common mistakes that I see folks making when eating out, how to approach these meals in a fat loss friendly fashion, as well as exactly what I ordered the last few times that I went out to eat. So let's dig in. The first mistake is not checking the menu out ahead of time. Just about every restaurant nowadays has their menu online, and a ton of them even list their nutrition info with a calorie breakdown included for every single item. And so I'd recommend perusing the menu beforehand, especially if you're one of those folks that's susceptible to having the server come over and you feel a little bit of pressure and then you're just like, I'll take the burger and fries. Personally, I find the online menus especially useful because I encourage my clients to email me with any questions that they have about menus and eating out at any specific restaurant. And this way, they get some practice in before the quote unquote game. And so what we'll do is, I'll get them to offer up 2 to 3 options that they think would be in line with their goals. And then I provide them with feedback on those options, as well as any potential modifications that they may not have thought of. This way, they familiarize themselves with the ordering out process and build some confidence around it, because it can be kind of nerve-wracking for some people when they just don't know whether their decision was a solid one or not. So definitely take advantage of online menus because it'll only take you a few minutes to check out, and it can make a big difference when you go in with even the tiniest little bit of planning versus flying by the seat of your pants. The second mistake is thinking that a salad is always the best option, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Salads, especially at restaurants, can be super deceiving in regards to caloric content. For example, Cactus Club is a really popular restaurant in Canada where I'm from, and they have their menu online. The chicken and kale salad is 810 calories. Chicken and kale. Now, Cactus is cool because they have the calorie content of their dressings listed separately, and the one that goes on this specific salad is 230 calories just on its own. And so knowing that, if you simply sub that dressing for some balsamic vinegar, that 810 calorie salad turns into a sub 600 calorie option. That makes a difference, but the only way that you know that is that if you looked at the menu and nutritional info beforehand. Another popular spot in Canada is a place called Earl's. They also have their menu online, and so I looked at their salads and came across the Southwest Chicken Avocado Salad. Sounds super healthy, right? 1,030 calories. Is that not wild? A friggin' salad with over 1,000 calories. Just for reference, a Big Mac burger from McDonald's is 590 calories. I really feel for folks because they go to a restaurant. They think that they are making a healthful decision by ordering a salad, and little do they know that that salad has almost 2 Big Macs worth of calories in it. That sucks. And so I really hope that this episode is helpful for you guys that are truly making a concentrated effort in regards to your goals. Now you may be wondering, how are some of these salads so high calorie? They're basically just leaves, right? When we factor in things like dressing The nuts, the dried fruit, the croutons, the tortilla strips, the cheese, added oils, the calories rack up like crazy. I want to throw this one in just for fun. A kale and mushroom pizza from Earl's is 1,610 calories. And this is kind of funny. The vegan option of the kale and mushroom pizza, so they must use some sort of soy or other alternative cheese on it, it has 1,590 calories. And so, sweet. You go with an even more processed and less delicious version of the pizza, and you save 20 calories. Nice. I mean, it's definitely worth doing if you're lactose intolerant, but you get the idea. Brown's Social House, another fairly popular chain in Canada, and I've had a bunch of clients order the blackened chicken cowboy salad. It sounds great on paper. 880 calories. You get a glass of wine or a beer with that, and you are over 1,000 calories. And you go home thinking that you ordered a healthy salad and kept it to a single drink, right? I'll throw a few more fun ones in there. The Southwest Chicken Rice Bowl from Brown's, 1,320 calories. The Dragon Bowl with chicken, I've ordered this one before, 1,010 calories. And if you sub the chicken for tofu, it's even more calories. It's 1,150. The moral of the story here so far is that basically, however many calories you think that something has at a restaurant, just double it. Because a restaurant's number one priority is that you enjoy the food. They don't care about your body composition and health. They want you to have a super tasty meal, and that means adding outrageous amounts of fat via butter, oil, marinades, sauces, nuts, cheese, and the list goes on. But the trickiest part about these add-ons is that fat is super hard to account for, especially when it's in these concentrated forms. For example, it's really easy to see how much rice is on your plate, or bread, or even something like avocado. But it is extremely difficult to account for butter, oil, marinades, and sauces because they are so low in food volume, being that they're liquid, yet so high in caloric content. A single tablespoon of oil, even a healthful oil like olive oil, has 120 calories in it. And it's really tough to tell the difference between, say, 1 tablespoon and 3 or 4 when it is mixed into your meal. And that could be the difference between 120 calories and almost 500 calories. The mainstream health media nowadays is so focused on carbohydrates and avoiding sugar that we are completely overlooking how much fat that we are eating. I've had clients say to me, I feel like I did so well this week. I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like I should have lost more fat. And then we simply double down on accounting for all of these added fats, and boom, they drop 2 to 3 pounds in like 7 days. This stuff adds up so fast. The third mistake is skimping on the protein. And unless you're ordering something like a steak, you're probably not going to be getting nearly enough protein in your meal, simply because restaurants are a business and protein is the most expensive ingredient. And so they keep costs down by not giving you very much of it. Also, protein is the most satiating macronutrient. And so if you haven't had very much protein, you are more likely to eat more. And so again, smart business strategy. If you order more food, the restaurant makes more money. So unless you go for a steak or something like it, I would recommend asking for double protein. Yes, it increases the cost. However, you're already saving so much money from making most of your own meals at home anyway, wink wink, so it's all good. Now, if you're on a tight budget, I just recommend having a generous serving of protein before you head out for dinner. Problem solved. You can also just do this if you tend to overeat at restaurants, because the protein will do a great job of satiating you and therefore setting you up for success. Mistake number 4. If you know that you don't want to eat from the bread basket, ask them to take it away, because man, is it ever tough to stare that stuff in the face and not reach for it. If you don't need to rely on quote unquote discipline, why would you, right? Take the temptation out of the equation, set yourself up for success, and hand that baguette right back to your server. Number 5 is forgetting that you always have the option of ordering off menu, meaning, fortunately, you are not restricted to solely listed menu items as is. You can ask for exactly what you want, and most restaurants will be more than happy to accommodate. Because again, it's a business, and they want you to be happy with your experience, so you come back and tell other folks to go as well. So don't be afraid to ask for exactly what you want. If you want a piece of salmon with a side of steamed veggies and some rice, yet that specific meal isn't listed like that on the menu, but they have salmon and they surely have rice and veggies, ask for it. You can absolutely piece together items from different listed meals. There is no rule against that. Now, if you're concerned about coming across as that picky person, just know that servers themselves are the kings and queens of meal modifications, because they know what's doable in the kitchen and they modify meals like crazy, meaning they get it, so don't worry. Also, it's worth asking yourself, how important is feeling good and reaching your goals to you? Like, let's say that you modify a meal and you think that the server is slightly bothered. Is avoiding the feeling that comes up for you if a server is potentially slightly bothered worth not asking for what you want? If it is, fair enough. But really though, who cares? I would recommend taking your power back and ordering exactly what you want to eat. Okay, so we've outlined the 5 biggest mistakes. Now let's dig into what to actually order. Here is how I'd recommend approaching things. The base of your meal should be animal protein. And like I mentioned before, if you don't order something like a steak that has a solid portion to it, double up. That's priority number 1. Next, you probably want to get some veggies in, and now that we know that salads can be incredibly deceiving, be aware of all the potential add-ons, even if you order a little side salad. Steamed veg is always an option too. Just know that it'll probably be drenched in oil and or butter if you don't ask for them without it. If you want to add a starchy carb like rice or potatoes, you totally can. However, in the vast majority of cases, the way that these items will be prepared are also with tons of oil, butter, sauces, etc. And so even something like, house potatoes are going to be cooked in tons of fat. So we've got protein, we've got veggies, and we may have some starchy carbs in the mix, and you probably want to just basically forget about adding fat, because again, the restaurant is already cooking with tons of it, and your protein choice will likely already have fat in it as well. For example, steak or salmon contains plenty of fat already. Now you might be thinking, Marcus, that is so boring. When I go to a restaurant, I want to order something different, something that I wouldn't normally make at home. And if that's the case, go for it. I'm just sharing this information with you if you want to eat out and stay on track in terms of your body composition and goals. Having said that, I do include a treat meal for all of my fat loss clients that want to include one each and every week. And so if it is your treat meal, by all means, feel free to toss this advice out the window. Just keep in mind that something like a pizza is going to have close to 2,000 calories or more. And even some of the really healthful sounding dishes are upwards of 1,000 calories or more, like we just chatted about. Now, there are certain restaurants that inherently make it easier to stay on point. And one example would be sushi. Basic sushi rolls, sashimi, and nigiri are incredible options. And they actually don't have a bunch of added fat, which is great because you know exactly what you are getting. For example, tuna and salmon sashimi is just protein and a little bit of fat. That's it. Tuna and salmon maki rolls are just fish, rice, and some seaweed. A side of rice is just rice. Nigiri is also just fish and rice. Where you can get into trouble is via the fancy, crunchy this and that rolls with all of the fixings, sauces, and therefore added fat. I just want to clarify that fat is not bad. It's just how restaurants make their food super delicious. And it's very deceiving. And that's why I'm mentioning it so much. It just drives up calorie counts like crazy. So more solid restos are places like Chipotle, Nando's, Subway can work quite well. Thai food tends to be pretty solid if you go for curry options and don't go nuts with the sauces. There are good decisions to be made just about everywhere. You just got to put in some effort and modify here and there at most places. Now I'll share with you exactly what I've ordered the last few meals that I've eaten out for. One was sushi, and I had 1 tuna maki roll, 1 salmon maki roll, 2 tuna nigiri, 2 salmon nigiri, and an order of salmon sashimi. Now, just for context, I eat 2 meals per day typically, and I am very active. And so if that sounds like a lot, just keep that in mind. The other meal was a barbecued chicken place that I went to, and I ordered half a chicken, and it came with a side of rice and a little bit of veggies, and I also had a fizzy water with it. Super simple. This coming weekend, I'll likely go out for some tacos, and I'll probably have like 5 or 6 of them. I might even toss a beer or 2 in there as well. I'll just see what I'm feeling like. So a quick recap. Look at menus ahead of time. Prioritize protein. Be aware of the fact that salads can be really deceiving calorically. Don't tempt yourself with the bread basket. Remember that you can order off menu, and a safe bet when you are estimating the calorie content of your meal is to just double it due to all of those sneaky added fats. If you're interested in applying for one-on-one nutritional coaching and or workout design with me, you can click the link in the description below or head on over to n1fitness.com/coaching. On Instagram, I'm at n1fitness. On TikTok, I'm at the n1fitness. And on YouTube, I am at marcussedu/n1fitness. Feel free to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform if you'd like to. And be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that you found this eating out episode useful, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.